Welcome back to your Nerdy Show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're diving deep into episode 2 of The Last Frontier, the tense new Apple TV Plus thriller that's quickly becoming everyone's latest obsession. If you thought the first episode was intense, episode 2 takes things to a whole new level with shocking secrets from the CIA, mysterious new players, and a villain who might just be smarter than everyone else in the room. Frank Remnick is pushed to his breaking point as his hunt for Havlock turns into a psychological war. And just when you think you figured it out, the ending drops a twist that changes everything. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's break down The Last Frontier, Episode 2. Every reveal, every theory, and what that chilling final scene really means. What did Havlock steal from the CIA? Frank's world is falling apart piece by piece. His retirement dreams? Gone. Just like the crashed plane in the Yukon Flats. His wife, Sarah, kidnapped by Havlock, and his teenage son, Luke, missing. It's the perfect storm of chaos for a man who's supposed to be in control of everyone's safety. While Frank's trying to hold it together, the press conference at the school auditorium reminds us that duty never takes a day off. As supervisory deputy marshal, it's Frank's job to brief the media and the townsfolk about the situation, because Havlock has done something even more dangerous than just escape. He's cut off the entire Tanana Valley cellular and data signals. No communication, no coordination, just isolation and fear. But while Frank's trying to protect his town, his mind is only on one thing, Sarah. He doesn't know who Havlock really is, but instinct tells him the man is dangerous. That's when Sidney finally starts opening up. Well, sort of. She tells Frank that Havlock didn't take Sarah just to hurt her. He wants something, a trade. And the only way to get what he wants is to make Frank desperate enough to cooperate. The real bombshell comes when Sidney confronts her superior, Bradford, who finally admits the truth. Havlock broke into CIA servers and stole a classified file called Archive 6. What's in it? Every name of every target the CIA has ever eliminated or plans to eliminate in a secret operation known as the Atwater Protocol. It's the kind of information that could burn the agency to the ground. So if Havlock has that file, it's no wonder the CIA wants him silenced. And it's also no wonder that Sidney, who's been sent to hunt him down, has her own reasons for wanting him dead. She's not telling Frank everything, and her silence says a lot. There's history there, something personal. Who is Henry Sickler? While the CIA angle brings the political stakes into focus, the small-town drama keeps the emotional core alive. Havlock has been hiding in plain sight, and when Frank learns that he's been inside his home, going through his things, using his computer, it's chilling. Even worse, Havlock left behind a tape recorder. At first, it seems blank, but it's not. Sidney secretly finds the real tape before the police do and slips it to Frank later. And when he plays it, there's Sarah, tied up, terrified, pleading for Frank to release a prisoner, one who was in seat 12A on that doomed flight. The name? Henry Dale Sickler. Now, Henry isn't just another inmate. We've seen glimpses of him before. The armless man pulling cash from his hollow prosthetics, begging a driver to take him to the police instead of stealing her car. It was strange then, and it's even stranger now. Why would Havlock want him? Frank, with the help of his deputy Cole, starts digging into Henry's file. Turns out Henry was a high-end money launderer, a fixer for criminal syndicates who eventually double-crossed the wrong people. They burned him alive, literally, and he lost both his arms. But that's not the most interesting part. Despite everything, Henry is calm, sharp, and utterly unafraid. When Frank questions him, Henry mocks him, calling him a pig, and denies knowing anything about Havlock. But there's no way Havlock wants him released for nothing. Sidney believes Havlock needs Henry for something big, maybe to help sell the stolen Archive 6 file. Frank, though, isn't convinced. He's a man bound by duty, and he's not about to treat a federal criminal for his wife, no matter how much it hurts. Sarah knows this too. In one of the most painful lines of the episode, Havlock tells her that her husband is too loyal to his oath as a marshal to break the law for her. And he's right. Frank's sense of justice might be his biggest strength and his greatest weakness. Why does Havlock want the flight deck recorder? As Frank wrestles with the impossible decision of freeing Henry, his team is stretched thin. Supplies are running out, tensions are high, and Havlock is still 2 steps ahead. Deputy Cole, who's been quietly observant, figures out that Henry turned himself in because he cut a deal with the DOJ. He was ready to testify in exchange for witness protection, a clean slate for a dirty man. That explains why he wanted nothing to do with Havlock. Meanwhile, Havlock has created a failsafe. If the CIA tries to kill him, Archive 6 automatically gets sent out to the public. That makes him untouchable. And while the CIA is scrambling to shut down his dead man switch, Havlock keeps pushing his psychological warfare on Frank and Sarah. Sarah, resourceful and brave, tries to fight back. She manages to free her hands and even stab Havlock, but it backfires. He tackles her down the stairs and she wakes up tied up again, her situation worse than before. It's heartbreaking and infuriating all at once. Back in town, Frank decides to turn Havlock's game against him. He stages a fake exchange, disguising another man as Henry, complete with prosthetic arms and a hood. Havlock, watching from a distance, chats with Frank over the radio, guiding him to the exchange point. The tension in their conversation is electric. Then Havlock starts analyzing Frank, mentioning his favorite author, Walter Coates, in his book, Alaska. He peels into Frank's psyche like a surgeon, guessing that the marshal came to Alaska to hide from something. And, weirdly enough, he's not wrong. Frank might love the land and its people, but there's definitely something he's running from. But this isn't a simple exchange. As Frank and Sidney eventually realize, Havlock never wanted Henry in the first place. The whole thing was a diversion. His real target was the flight deck recorder from the crashed plane. While Frank and Sidney were busy playing his game, Havlock ambushed the transport van carrying the recorder, stole the memory chip, and vanished. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. He didn't kill the people transporting it. He tied them up and left them alive. For a supposed villain, that's an unusual move. Maybe Havlock does have a moral code. Maybe he's not as evil as he seems. And that raises a new theory. What if Havlock wasn't the one who caused the plane crash? Think about it. Why would he risk his life in an explosion when he could have escaped some other way? Maybe the crash wasn't his doing at all. Maybe he wants the recorder because it holds evidence of who really brought that plane down. Sidney and Havlock's past. One of the most intriguing parts of the episode comes from Sidney's reactions. Every time Havlock's name comes up, her face changes. She's not just another agent on a mission. She's emotionally invested. Flashbacks reveal why. Years ago, Sidney attended one of Havlock's lectures on resilience. The chemistry between them was instant. She introduced herself with a fake name and workplace, clearly on a recruitment mission, but also clearly drawn to him. When she asked him out for coffee, it wasn't just a professional gesture. Havlock saw through her facade immediately. He knew she was CIA and wanted no part in the agency's corruption. What happened after that meeting remains a mystery. But whatever it was, it's personal and messy. It adds a whole new layer to the cat and mouse game between them. It's not just about intelligence files or moral codes, it's about betrayal, attraction, and unfinished business. Luke and Kira's dangerous discovery. While the adults play their high-stakes espionage games, Frank's son Luke is unknowingly walking into danger of his own. He and his girlfriend Kira have been hiding out in a cabin, completely unaware of how deep this rabbit hole goes. Earlier, they found a wounded man and started tending to him out of compassion. But here's the thing. They don't know who he is. He could easily be one of the escaped inmates. And as he starts to regain consciousness, the tension skyrockets. Frank sends his friend Clint to find them, but the hike to the cabin is long and treacherous. By the time he reaches them, it might already be too late. The ending, Havlock's gift. The final moments of episode 2 take us back to one of the most gut-wrenching subplots. The father and son taken hostage by another group of inmates. The father's desperate attempt to save his boy is tragic. He tells his son to run, knowing full well that the men holding them captive will kill him for it. It's the kind of brutal realism the show excels at, reminding us that survival in Alaska isn't just about the cold. It's about choices that break your heart. And then there's Havlock's final move. Frank receives an icebox, the same one Havlock had when he was with Sarah. We don't see what's inside, but the look on Frank's face says everything. Whatever's in there, it's personal, it's painful, and it's a message. Havlock is playing with Frank's sanity now. He's dismantling his life, one cruel step at a time. And if this episode is any indication, we're only scratching the surface of how dark this story can get. Our nerdy thoughts. Episode 2 of The Last Frontier raises the stakes beautifully. We now know that Havlock isn't just a criminal, he's a genius strategist with a grudge against the CIA. We've got emotional depth with Frank, moral ambiguity with Sidney, and a growing sense of dread for Luke and Kira's safety. But most importantly, this episode proves one thing. The Last Frontier isn't about good guys and bad guys. It's about people caught in a storm of secrets, lies, and survival. And if Havlock's icebox is any sign, things are about to get a whole lot colder in Fairbanks.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.